We're back. We are out of home quarantine and we have a new car for you all.
It's been a while since we put out a video, but unfortunately Brisbane's chaotic at the moment. Yes. But pretty much where we left off, we had 350Z and we sold it. Made some good profit on that one.
Good money.
Real good money on that one. And we had lots of auction visits.
Yes.
I don't know, it was just really hard to find.
So we had 3 or 4 cars we were definitely bidding on. I think 2 of them went more than our budget. And another 1 or 2, it was just ridiculous what money they were going for. So we weren't even going to buy it because we weren't going to make money anyway. And I think I worked it out while we were locked away. The last time we purchased a car was the last week of October.
Really?
Yeah. So we haven't bought a car until the start of this year. So it was like nearly 3 months that we hadn't bought a car, which is quite some time, especially when you're trying to get to a Lamborghini. It's going to take a long time if that's how long it takes. But we're back. We've got a car. If you've been paying attention to our YouTube channel, we did put out a hint. I think one person got it right.
Yeah, was it the sausage one?
Yes, this car manufacturer makes more sausages than it does cars. Which Morgan didn't know what it was.
But I feel like
he knew what the car was.
I feel like it's easy to guess though. Sausages, where do sausages come from?
Sausages? No, it could be like true. Ferrari makes 1,000 cars or whatever a year. But yes, if you go back, you'll see what the car manufacturer is. If you watch this video, you're going to know what the car manufacturer is. It is indeed Volkswagen.
Yes.
Volkswagen, they have their own part number for the sausage. Manufactured by Volkswagen at, I believe it's the Wolf, what's the one? Wolfsburg? It's something like that. It's I think it's Wolfsburg. I don't know, it's where Volkswagen makes their cars. But yes, Morgan, what did we buy?
Well, if you've been watching the auction videos,
yes,
you would have seen it. And so we did snatch stuff from the auctions, and what we got was this beautiful white two-door Volkswagen GTI Golf GTI.
You can tell he's very much a Euro guy.
Yeah.
GTI Golf.
GTI Golf.
Run the montage because Morgan doesn't know what car he bought. Alright, we're starting with the best part of this underbody first, and that is the odd situation of, I'd barely even call it an exhaust, because this is horrifying. Morgan, if you come around here, this is probably the worst of it. I'm no welder, but I think I could do better than this, which is very odd, because the further we go down, honestly, the better it gets. So these welds here, there's no other word for it, it's just booger welds. It looks like booger. But credit where credit is due, they have still utilized the mounting hooks for the exhaust, so it does stay in its place and it doesn't hit and smack things underneath. Moving forward from the booger section of the exhaust, struts all dry, no leaks there, wheels solid as a rock, wheel bearings are all good. Brakes, new pads, rotors aren't lipped at all, still got a ton of life in them. All the bushings, no cracks or anything like that. Same as the other side, this wheel is solid. Again, new pads. Moving down, you can actually see most exhaust shops would just have a right angle bend weld, right angle bend weld. This one, they've attempted pie cutting. If you have a look back here, all of the cuts, the welds are okay. And then coming into this bit here, the welds are actually looking really good. We've then got a sausage, more booger welding. Wrapping around again, bit more booger welding. These pie cuts here though, I mean, they're not like welding porn, but still a real quality job. New hangers here. We've got some unknown gooey substance here that I'm assuming it's this exhaust sealant. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Exhaust sealant just to make the two surfaces up there. And then nice long shot to the plaque, which is TCP Auto Performance Exhaust. I think this is all them, except for maybe the rear of the exhaust. I think maybe they tacked on some different tips or something, because even up here, you look at the welds here, as Morgan pointed out when we were off camera, it looks like there was no argon used or anything. There's lots of crap and crud in the welds. It's honestly funny, but it still does a job. It still holds in the exhaust. I don't believe there to be any leaks, but it is quite a loud, obnoxious exhaust. But moving forward, there's really not much to say here. Brand new crush washer. Everything is dry as a bone. All good. You can see the shafts here. Boots are all good. At the front, the wheels, solid as a rock. Same as the rears. No lipping on the rotors. Pads look brand new. There's really not much to say about this car. The car is solid, it's cleaned. It was only serviced like 4,000 kilometers ago, I think. So really, there's nothing much else that has to be done. And if you have a look at the underside, like there's a little bit of scrapes. Normally this part here is gone. It's just completely gone. The tires, the tread is amazing. We don't have to replace any tires, they're perfect. But yeah, and any keen eye viewers, if you watch the auction video, you'll know that the rear tint was hectic bubbly. We've since replaced that in between that auction video and shooting this one. So that's all sorted. So literally, as far as the underbody inspection, mechanical side of the engine, nothing to do or work on so far, although we do have to scan the car. Alright, so we got a bit of story time with this car. So with all our cars, as soon as we get them from the auction, we'll bring them home and pretty much turn them on, give them a drive up and down the driveway, that kind of thing, kind of around the block, just to make sure that everything's sorted, and then we can progress through with either servicing it, registering it, or getting it ready to be roadworthy. When we took this home, it had basically no fuel, so put fuel in it, no problems there. Turned it on, car's fine. Once we charged the battery was almost on its way out, but we revived it and it was all good. Took it round the block and it was fine. And I just thought, we'll just go one more lap round the block just to make sure. And bang, all of a sudden we had a low oil pressure light show up on the dash. And pretty much just said turn the car off immediately, put it into a limp mode, and luckily, because I only went around the block, I was like 100 meters from my house, pretty much just coasted into my house, shut it off, and was petrified. Upon looking at the oil, I probably should have done that before starting it, but the dipstick was dry, so there's no oil there, which is not a good sign. Jacked the car up to see if there was any crazy oil leaks, holes in the block or something like that. But as you just saw from the underbody inspection, the complete underside of the car is immaculate. No problems there at all. So I thought, okay, well, we'll put some oil in it and we'll see what will happen. So I went down to the local auto parts store, bought a thing of oil, chucked in about 2 liters of oil, which is very scary. And she's all good. I then let the car sit, so I didn't drive it or anything, let the car sit overnight. just to make sure that it wasn't leaking at all. And sure enough, no leaks on my garage floor. The car was still holding oil, it was all topped up. Then took it for a drive around the block again, kept going around the block, around the block, around the block, and no problem whatsoever. We've since registered the vehicle, and I've taken it on a number of journeys. We had to drive almost an hour to and from the tint place to get the tint fixed, so we think that the thing's sorted. I did check the oil filter, no metal shavings or anything, which was almost likely, having the fact that this car may have been run without oil. But I think we were very lucky with the fact that as soon as it happened, we pretty much just coasted home and switched it off 100 meters. So very, very lucky there. Then when taking the car to get tinted, I had a warning light on the dash pop up, the little check engine light, which petrified me. But the car drove immaculately. It didn't have any problems, wasn't hesitant at all, anything like that. So continued driving. It didn't tell me to stop. Normally with the Euros, if something's really wrong, it will tell you something's really wrong and tell you, hey, stop and turn your car off, go to your workshop immediately kind of thing. This didn't, it just kind of came on. So continued going to the tint, that was fine. I was hoping maybe just turn it off, turn it on again, disconnect the battery, reconnect the battery, that kind of thing. Didn't get rid of the light on the dash. So I drove it all the way home though, no problems at all, didn't skip a beat. Plugged the scan tool in, and it was a code for efficiency of the catalytic converter. So could be a sign that the cat's are on its way out. However, cleared the code, took it for another drive about an hour or so, and no code, no problem. So that's where we are today. We've just scanned the car, and it's all good. No problems, nothing there. It did come up with an EVAP thing about, I think it's the petrol tank purge system to stop fumes going through. But that was an old fault, so that was cleared. And yeah, the car is perfect. It's running fine, it's driving fine, and now the scan tool shows us that there is nothing wrong with the car. It just needed a little bit of oil and a bit of a drive to clear it all out. So very good news, good clean bill of health, and I think we very much dodged a very, very expensive bullet had we driven the car longer, or if someone before the auction had driven the car longer. So I think that was also maybe potentially why this car went through the auctions, is because this doesn't actually have a low oil level kind of sensor or anything like that. It won't tell you that. So what had happened is I'd obviously just gone around a corner. All the oil that was in the car has sloshed to one side, and the pickup has just picked up air, which has then caused the low oil pressure warning. So very lucky, very fortunate, and thank God we don't have to buy another engine for this thing, because that would definitely ruin us. So I accidentally failed to give you all the specs on the car. We've got a 2011 Golf GTI. It's not a GTI Golf.
Same thing.
Golf GTI. It's a Mark 6. It's got 132,000 kilometers on the clock at the moment. We've got full service history from new, recently serviced around about 4,000 or 5,000 kilometers ago. And I think it was around about 6 months ago the service was done. So it's still, we don't have to service it. It's all good. Tires are in really good nick.
Brakes are good.
Brakes are good. They were definitely done the last time it was serviced. Current market for the Golf GTI. If it's a four-door, it's all over the place. Some people think they're worth 20 grand, and then I've seen some go for 10 grand. And they don't really seem to have, like, the nicer the car, the more expensive it is. It's literally just people are random with their price. So you can snatch up a really good deal if you're buying a Golf GTI. You just need to find someone who A, needs to get rid of their car quickly, or B, doesn't know the market. And there are quite a few people who don't know the market. But for two-door GTIs, there's only around about, I believe at the time of this recording, there's 3 or 4 in the country. So not much at all. If you have a look at Porsche Boxster S987s, there is, actually no, there's only one of those. Anyway, it's a very rare car.
Trust James.
At the moment.
Trust you to bring up a Porsche.
That's a Euro episode. So there's not much to go on. The cheapest we could find on Gumtree out of those 3 or 4 is about 17 grand. Privately, I've seen 2 here in Queensland region. One going for 21,500, which is a lot more. And then there was another one that was fully hectic, flames out the exhaust, stage 35.5, one that a P-plater was selling for 19. So also, side note, if you are advertising your car and you have a photo of it shooting flames out the back, I'm immediately not interested. And I think Morgan has the same gripe about drifting in sales photos.
Oh yeah, yeah. Those people selling their S chassis or Skylines.
Yeah, it's
All
just
hectic sideways.
okay. Yeah, everyone knows what you're doing with a 180, a Sylvia, a Skyline. Everyone knows that. But when you take photos of it and advertise the fact, yeah,
No.
you've immediately turned me off. Like, I know that my 180 was drifted because it's got a full GK Tech front. And you don't do that unless
And it's got a rear quarter.
Yeah, it's had a nice love tap in the rear quarter. But like, we know it's implied. We don't need photos of it. But anyway, so that's our car, 2011 Golf GTI. A bit of a rundown on the specs and what kind of price range we're looking at. A big thank you to everyone that commented and messaged us in the break, just making sure that we were all good. That was very nice. We actually got someone reached out to us who was the buyer of the Cordia Turbo, which was an awesome thing to happen. It was made my day.
Yeah, me too.
It was awesome.
Is he coming to the next meet? I think
Potentially.
Potentially.
He's going to watch this and be like, oh,
should be really good. You have to come now.
But
everyone's going to be waiting for you.
We love the engagement. We love talking to you guys. It's, I believe, it's the first person to have gone, hey, I bought that car. Which is kind of funny. I've always thought that one of these flips, someone's going to be like, hey, I bought that car.
Yeah.
But we haven't had it yet. We came close, actually, with the WX.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, that is it from us. Unfortunately, there's not much to do on the Golf. It's recently serviced. Everything's in good order. Nothing is broken and not working. Normally, we do brakes on an auction car, but this one, surprisingly, the brakes have already been done.
Yeah.
So I guess look out for our review of the Golf GTI, which I can't wait for, because this thing, I was about to say, is the fastest thing we've had so far, and then I remembered that we had the 3 MPS, which would smoke it. But yes, so look forward to our review coming up of the Mark 6 Golf GTI. That's exactly how you meant to say it, Morgan, not the GTI Golf Mark 6. Looking further ahead, we've got our meet coming up at the end of January. If you're in that Brisbane to Gold Coast region, come out, say hello. It's normally always a really good time. Last meet was the Christmas one. That was hectic. We had a free giveaway of some merch. If you're watching this and you're wanting a sticker, Morgan's not repping anything, a sticker, shirt, we have that. Go to projectb.store. That has all our shirts and apparel and stickers and an awesome ramen shirt if you love ramen. But yes, thank you for staying this long in the video. Thank you for sticking with us through the China virus. And we'll see you in the next Project B video.